Hey YouTubers! So Shadow King and I recorded a discussion about our favorite Dragon Ball villains, and I actually thought I had a few final things to say about this. In my opinion, Majin Buu is a good villain, and his entire arc in Dragon Ball, starting with the Great Saiyaman Saga, is among one of the best in the entire series. I used to not like it when I was younger, but I think a lot of that was from my peer groups. You see, at the time I was entering high school, and a lot of people just stopped liking anime and stopped talking about it and everything. I mostly finished Dragon Ball on Toonami because it was the easiest way to view it at the time, and I really needed to see how the series ended after watching it since it aired in '98. But yeah, I think that's a topic for another day. Now, Majin Buu gets a lot of hate. Toriyama was creatively exhausted with the franchise at that point, so it is kind of clearly visible throughout the entire saga. Maybe that's the main reason why people don't like it, but I actually do think there's a lot of stuff in this saga that's worth mentioning. First off, Majin Buu is a complex character that is constantly at war with either himself or the world around him. When we first meet him, he's completely oblivious to forms of society or companionship. The only things that matter are fighting and food. His friendship with Mr. Satan and Bee humbles and domesticates him until his evil half manifests itself. After that, we see Majin Buu mature into a character filled with purpose to completely destroy the universe at any cost. And when all is said and done, we see Majin Buu break down into his most basic form. All logic and ambition fades away, and we're left with the most destructive force that we've ever seen in Dragon Ball. When it comes to Majin Buu, there's just simply a lot there. We definitely know more about him and his inner turmoil than Frieza or Cell. If you ask me, Majin Buu's character delivered not only more jokes than any other Dragon Ball Z villain before him, but he also offered a greater threat to Earth and its heroes. Besides Mr. Satan, he ended humanity. The final fight on the sacred planet of the Kais is the final stand in the epic proceedings of the entire arc. If Kid Buu won, then there would have been no one left in the universe to fight Majin Buu. Of course, the story was written to raise those stakes, as simply wishing a full-powered Gohan to the battleground would have pretty much ended the story right then and there. I would argue that the final battle was never more ambiguous than the fight against Majin Buu. Unlike Frieza or Cell, there was less feeling that Goku was just going to show up and save the day. We all knew that was going to happen, but Gotenks, Ultimate Gohan, and Super Vegito's attempts were pretty much awesome fights and could have made for great finales anyway. All in all, I feel like we should ask ourselves whether we would be just as excited for the Majin Buu arc in place of Super if Z had ended after the Cell games. Maybe the knee-jerk reaction would be a hard no, but I find it difficult to believe that Dragon Ball fans wouldn't be freaking out over the rematch of Goku and Vegeta, or Goku going Super Saiyan 3 for the first time, or the introduction of fusion. I think the Majin Buu arc gets a lot of bad rap, and I think a lot of that is because it came right after the Cell games. For a lot of us, we spent a better part of our childhood hustling to watch the show every single day. We grew up on it, and if you're anything like me, you might have felt like you'd outgrown it by the time that this arc was actually airing. But that shouldn't deter us from admitting that this last major arc in Dragon Ball Z isn't less enjoyable than the ones before it. In my opinion, it succeeds where the others failed in a lot of ways, and it is a very satisfying conclusion to the whole series. Anyway guys, that's all I have to say about this. Like always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I hope everyone has a nice day. Bye.